Hey guys, so this is an update video on the build. Lately I was working on reinforcing the front part of the frame by adding the support structure tubes, which is this one right here, and then same with that lower one. So the top one gets welded to the top of the frame, and then it's a straight shot into the roll cage. And then if you see here, it's also supported by this tube that gets welded to the bottom of that tube to the top of the frame. And then that same tube continues down there. If you look right there, you can see it loop. So, and then that tube right there is converted into the mortar mount. And that, like, so when it goes straight down there, it gets welded to this tube supporting the bottom of the frame. But this tube right here gets welded to the cross member. That square cross member goes like straight this way and then up, but that tube is welded to that, and then it's also welded behind the cross member, so it continues straight back. You could probably see it through here. So it's that tube right there. So that gets welded to the cross member. But anyway, that's an update on the build. I TIG welded those in. They're all done. And then next I will be finishing off, or trying to finish off, the firewall, because I was building that, like that firewall structure. And then after that, I will just need to weld panels to that. Same with the passenger side. Same deal with the supports. And then these are the panels. I only got two made, I guess, but one of them goes there and another one over here. So that's going to be TIG welded all around. I'm going to use silicone bronze, because that stuff's a little flexible. I wouldn't use it like on something structural, but on this stuff it's okay. As you can see right there, that's TIG welded silicone bronze. And then some of the panels I'm going to be welding Seuss fasteners. Like, for instance, like if you look in here, see there's a Seuss fastener there, and there. Yeah, so I want to be able to remove some of these panels, because behind that panel that's going to go right there, I have my starter, and I want to be able to access that starter just by removing that panel, because the car is very low and it's quite a hassle to be able to raise it and whatnot, and I could easily remove just that panel and access it. Same with this panel, it's going to be removable there. Not sure if you see the Seuss fasteners, but anyway, that's going to be removable. And behind that, there's going to be my spark plugs. And then down here, I'm also going to have the coil packs. Yeah, I know the coil packs on the LS1 are usually up here, but I'm actually going to shave all that stuff off. And I'm actually going to put the coil packs down there. And for the driver's side, I'm going to put them on this, the same spot on the side of the block. Yeah, so those are the updates. So yeah, making the panels for the firewall, and they're gonna have like bead rolling designs on them. So, and then to be able to access the side of the firewall, you could either call that a firewall or like / firewall tunnel. But yeah, I need to be able to remove the engine. Engine's got to come out. And then I got to remove the rack and pinion to be able to get the engine out. So engine and transmission have to come out. That way I can start welding panels in. But if you look here, there's like barely enough room. It's probably like 1/4 of an inch. Not sure if you can see that. Yeah, so there's not a lot of room to be able to like weld panels in this. It's a really tight fit. This is a pretty big engine, and it's very tight. And not to mention, I think what made it even more like a harder setup, like harder firewall to build, is the fact that I shoved the engine so far back that my my pedals are literally next to the block or the engine. So that's why I have only 1/4 of an inch, and then I still have to build my manifolds. And I'm trying to go bigger than that, so it's going to be an extremely tight fit. But we'll manage. Anyway, that's what I got going on here in the front. And then this top part, it's going to be removable as well, so I can access the top of the master cylinders. And then on this side, my computer is going to be welded right here. I made a complete like bracket for it, so that's going to go down there. And I might make this panel accessible. But yeah, so so the inside's gonna have like a bunch of bead rolling. Those panels are all made. I just gotta weld them in. And then back here, I'm going to do a bunch of panels as well with a bunch of bead rolling designs on them. That way when I open the back, I can see like all these designs like on both sides and here. It's gonna look pretty cool. So yeah, it's gonna be like this type of design stuff. Anyway, that's what we have going on in the back. And then for this part, yeah, so I'm gonna be working on welding panels for the firewall, making panels and welding them in, and welding Seuss fasteners in. And I'm also like gonna be working on the hood supports. Before it used to look like this, but I'm removing a bunch of stuff. So like this stuff used to support the fenders, but I'm no longer gonna be using those because I made my own fender supports. Yeah, so this is still like the original Starlet stuff. It's just going to be modified. It's already a little modified. But I'm going to be making this a lot nicer looking. This one I already sanded down, so it looks very nice. And then this one, still very dirty. But yeah, I got to make that nicer looking. And then, so yeah, they would go like, well, they used to be spot welded like this. So I had to drill those spot welds out. So I got to weld this back on and then add a bunch of reinforcements because this is very weak now after I took all that stuff off and started butchering it up. So yeah, it's very weak now. And this literally has to hold my hood up. So but yeah, I could make a complete new one, like something a lot more or like a lot different, but this works. I'm going to use this because it works and it just goes with the car. Like, yeah, it's just a lot easier to use this and reinforce it. So that's up next. So I'm currently going to be working on those, and then I'm going to jump into the firewall, built the firewall, like weld all the panels in, and I also got to weld panels around this support tube. So I'll be using silicone bronze on that. But yeah, so finish the firewall and then take out the engine. Or if I finish this section, I can weld those in and start reinforcing it. But yeah, so that's the update on the build. If you guys want to stay like more updated on it, I post on my Instagram stories. Not sure if you guys, some of you guys follow, I'm sure, but I will try to update you guys here on YouTube. But yeah, so yeah, and then in the front, I'm also gonna do a bunch of stuff. I do also need to reinforce the front, but I'm going to hold off on that because there's a lot of stuff that's gonna go on the front. I can't say what I'm gonna do in the front because it's kind of like a waiting thing for you guys. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's gonna go in the front. It's gonna be very cool. Not sure if I'll do it like right away. I might have to wait on that. But yeah, it's going to be wild. There's going to be a party out front, so it's going to look pretty cool. But yeah, so I'm going to hold off on the support. And then I also need to like install a, what do you call that? Like a sway bar. There we go. I need to install a sway bar because I don't have one on here yet. That should be pretty easy. I think the hardest part is just going to be measuring everything and contacting a company, see if they can help me like either make one for me or maybe I could use their universal kits. But anyway, that's that. And then what else? Oh yeah, so the front like end is like I made a bunch of panels already to hold the front end up. I had to take all that stuff off to be able to build the front end frame supports. So like those and those, I had to take the whole front end off. But this is what's really cool about this build is that I can literally take the whole front end off and then be able to have access to like everything. So when the car's complete, like all done, I'll be able to like take everything off and the build would look like this. So yeah, that's a pretty cool little thing I can do with it. So anyway, thanks for watching. And yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed, consider subscribing. So, and perhaps give it a like. I think it'll help my channel. So, all right, guys. Well, bye.